The eternal Pharaoh, the life and reign of Pepi II. In the sun-baked land of ancient Egypt, a land where the Nile River nourished both crops and spirits, there rose a pharaoh whose reign would become the stuff of legend. His name was Pepi II, a ruler of the Old Kingdom, whose time on the throne was marked by longevity, grandeur, and a tale that captured the imaginations of generations. This is the story of Pepi II, a child who became king and a king who reigned for a lifetime. A child on the throne. The story of Pepi II begins with an unusual and remarkable event. Born into the royal family, Pepi II was thrust into power at an astonishingly young age. It is said that he became pharaoh around the tender age of 6, following the death of his father, Pepi I. Imagine a child, barely old enough to understand the world, suddenly wearing the crown of Egypt, a realm steeped in tradition and divine authority. The royal court must have been a place of awe and confusion for young Pepi. Surrounded by powerful officials, scribes, and priests, he was more a symbol than a ruler in those early years. Yet, the kingdom had seen child rulers before, and the machinery of governance continued under the watchful eyes of the Queen Mother, Ankh-Mesmerir II, and other influential figures. Ankh-Mesmerir II played a pivotal role in the early years of Pepi II's reign. As regent, she managed the affairs of the state and ensured that the young pharaoh's rule was respected and maintained. Her influence and guidance were crucial, providing stability during a period that could have been tumultuous due to the pharaoh's youth. The Queen Mother was not only a maternal figure but also a political strategist, navigating the complex web of palace intrigue and regional politics. The court of Pepi II was filled with experienced advisors and officials who took on the responsibilities of governing. The role of the vizier, the highest official under the pharaoh, was particularly significant. The viziers were often drawn from the ranks of the nobility and were skilled in administration, law, and military affairs. Their leadership helped maintain order and ensure that the young king's decrees were implemented throughout the land. The long reign. Pepi II's reign is often cited as one of the longest in history, spanning around 94 years. This incredible duration is not just a testament to his longevity, but also a fascinating window into the stability and structure of ancient Egyptian society. Imagine a reign that saw multiple generations come and go, a time where children grew into adults, lived their lives, and passed on while Pepi II remained the constant figurehead of the state. During his reign, Egypt continued to prosper. The pharaoh's role was not just as a ruler but as a divine intermediary between the gods and the people. Festivals, rituals, and grand ceremonies marked the passage of time, with Pepi II at the center of these grand spectacles. He was not just a king. He was a living god, embodying the divine right to rule. The day-to-day life of the pharaoh and his court was filled with ceremonies and duties that reinforced his divine status. One of the most important rituals was the Sed festival, celebrated to rejuvenate the pharaoh's power and vitality. Traditionally held every 30 years, Pepi II's lengthy reign meant he likely celebrated this festival multiple times, each occasion marked by elaborate rituals, feasting, and the reaffirmation of the pharaoh's divine right to rule. The reign of Pepi II was also a period of artistic and cultural flourishing. Egyptian art, characterized by its formalism and adherence to traditional styles, continued to develop during this time. The pharaoh commissioned numerous statues, reliefs, and temples that depicted him in the prime of his life, often portrayed with youthful vigor despite his actual age. These works of art served both religious and political purposes, reinforcing his divine status and legitimizing his rule. The viziers and officials. Throughout his reign, Pepi II relied heavily on his viziers and officials to manage the kingdom's affairs. The vizier, often considered the highest official under the pharaoh, was crucial in administering justice, overseeing public works, and managing the kingdom's vast resources. One of the most famous viziers of Pepi II was a man named Wayne, who served under both Pepi I and his successor. Wayne's career is well documented and offers a glimpse into the workings of the Egyptian court. His autobiography, inscribed in his tomb, tells of his loyalty and service, including campaigns against rebellious territories and expeditions to gather resources. Through officials like Wayne, we see how the state maintained its power and order during Pepi II's long reign. Wayne's military campaigns were particularly significant in maintaining Egypt's dominance over its neighbors. He led expeditions into Nubia, Libya, and the Sinai Peninsula, securing valuable resources such as gold, copper, and precious stones. These campaigns were not just about resource acquisition, but also about demonstrating the pharaoh's power and extending Egyptian influence. The wealth gathered from these expeditions helped fund monumental building projects and maintain the lavish lifestyle of the royal court. The role of the viziers extended beyond mere administration and military leadership. They were also responsible for religious matters, often overseeing the construction and maintenance of temples dedicated to the gods and the pharaoh. The vizier's duties included ensuring that the proper rituals were performed and that the offerings to the gods were made regularly. This role was crucial in maintaining the favor of the gods and ensuring the prosperity of the kingdom. The pyramids and monuments. No story of an Egyptian pharaoh is complete without mention of the grand monuments that stand as testaments to their rule. For Pepi II, his pyramid complex at Saqqara remains a significant relic of his time. Although not as colossal as the Great Pyramids of Giza, Pepi II Pyramid was a marvel of its time, featuring intricate carvings, reliefs, and texts known as the pyramid texts. These texts are some of the oldest religious writings in the world, designed to protect and guide the pharaoh in the afterlife. They offer a rich tapestry of prayers, hymns, and spells, invoking the gods and detailing the king's journey through the Duat, the Egyptian underworld. Through these inscriptions, we glimpse the beliefs and values of a civilization that saw its rulers as eternal beings, continuing their divine role even after death. The construction of Pepi II Pyramid Complex was a monumental undertaking that involved thousands of workers, including skilled artisans, laborers, and slaves. The pyramid itself, originally reaching a height of approximately 52 meters, was part of a larger complex that included a mortuary temple, causeway, and valley temple. The mortuary temple was adorned with exquisite reliefs depicting scenes of daily life, offerings to the gods, and the pharaoh's divine achievements. The pyramid complex also featured smaller pyramids and tombs for members of the royal family and high-ranking officials. These subsidiary pyramids often contained their own sets of pyramid texts, reflecting the importance of ensuring the afterlife journey for all those who served the pharaoh. The entire complex was designed not only as a tomb but as a center for the worship of the deceased king, ensuring that his cult would be maintained long after his death. Diplomacy and trade. During Pepi II's reign, Egypt maintained and expanded its trade networks and diplomatic relations. The kingdom was a hub of commerce, with goods flowing in from Nubia, Punt, and beyond. Incense, gold, ivory, and exotic animals were highly prized, and expeditions were often dispatched to secure these valuable resources. One of the most fascinating aspects of Pepi II foreign relations is the correspondence with distant lands. A famous story involves a letter sent by the young pharaoh to the governor of Upper Egypt, requesting a dancing pygmy from Punt, a region famous for its exotic goods. This letter, preserved in inscriptions, highlights the pharaoh's curiosity and desire for rare and wondrous things. The request for the pygmy reflects the broader Egyptian fascination with the lands beyond their borders, which were often viewed as mysterious and filled with wonders. Punt, in particular, was considered a land of wealth and exoticism, known for its incense trees, gold, and unique fauna. The acquisition of such rare items was not only a display of wealth, but also a means of reinforcing the divine and worldly power of the pharaoh. Egyptian trade during this period was not limited to exotic luxuries. It also included essential materials such as timber, copper, and stone. These resources were crucial for building projects, including temples, monuments, and the infrastructure necessary for maintaining the state's complex bureaucracy. The pharaoh's ability to secure and manage these resources was a key aspect of his rule, reflecting his competence and the kingdom's prosperity. Challenges and decline. While Pepi II's reign was marked by prosperity, it was not without challenges. The latter years of his rule saw a decline in central authority, with provincial governors, known as nomarchs, gaining more power and autonomy. This decentralization hinted at the growing discontent and structural weaknesses within the kingdom. The long reign of Pepi II, while impressive, also meant that the kingdom faced the natural attrition of a ruler who had outlived many of his advisors, family members, and officials. Succession became an issue, and the aging pharaoh's grip on power weakened. The twilight of Pepi II rule foreshadowed the end of the Old Kingdom and the beginning of the First Intermediate Period, a time of upheaval and fragmentation. The increasing power of the nomarchs during Pepi II's later years led to a fragmentation of authority. These regional governors began to act with greater independence, often building their own tombs and temples, which traditionally would have been reserved for the pharaoh. This shift reflected a broader trend towards localism and the weakening of centralized power, a trend that would eventually lead to the political fragmentation and decline of the Old Kingdom. The decline in central authority was exacerbated by economic difficulties, including potential famines and decreased agricultural productivity. The Nile's inundations, crucial for farming, may have been less predictable or less generous during this period, leading to food shortages and economic strain. These hardships would have compounded the difficulties of maintaining a vast and complex state apparatus, contributing to the decline. The legacy of Pepi II. Despite the challenges, Pepi II's legacy endures. He is remembered not just for his longevity, but for his role in a pivotal era of Egyptian history. His pyramid, the administrative reforms, and the rich cultural artifact from his time provide a window into the life and beliefs of ancient Egypt. The tale of Pepi II is one of endurance, divine kingship, and the ever-changing nature of power. It is a story that has fascinated historians and storytellers alike, a testament to a ruler who reigned not just in years but in the annals of history. Archaeological discoveries related to Pepi II's reign, including his pyramid and associated artifacts, continue to provide insights into the Old Kingdom's society, religion, and governance. The pyramid texts, in particular, are invaluable resources for understanding ancient Egyptian beliefs about the afterlife, the role of the pharaoh, and the cosmology of the time. The long reign of Pepi II also offers a unique perspective on the challenges of maintaining a stable and unified state over an extended period. The issues of succession, the balance of power between the central government and regional authorities, and the management of resources and trade are themes that resonate across different eras and cultures. Pepi II's story is a reminder of the complexities and challenges of leadership, especially in a world where divine kingship was intertwined with governance. Epilogue: The Eternal Pharaoh. As the sun set on the Old Kingdom, the stories of Pepi II continued to be told. In the temples and tombs, in the chants of the priests and the whispers of the people, his name lived on. The ancient Egyptians believed in the concept of Ma'at, the cosmic order, and harmony that the pharaoh was sworn to uphold. In many ways, Pepi II's long reign was a symbol of this order, a beacon of continuity in a world ever-changing. Today, as we look back at the sands of time, we see in Pepi II a figure of fascination and mystery. His life and reign remind us of the impermanence of human endeavors and the eternal quest for immortality, a quest that continues to captivate our imaginations and inspire stories across the ages. The legacy of Pepi II is not just in the physical monuments he left behind, but in the stories and lessons that continue to be drawn from his life. His reign is a testament to the enduring power of human ambition, the complexities of governance, and the ways in which individuals and societies seek to transcend the limitations of time and mortality. The story of Pepi II, like the sands of the desert, continues to shift and reveal new facets, reminding us of the rich tapestry of human history and the enduring quest for meaning and legacy.